names.
Yeah, they definitely do. That Strawberry, when I first heard it, that threw me off, gang. I said, Strawberry? Why is his name Strawberry? Feel me?
Rumba.
Alright. The O Block / STL Gang War Sweden. Foxtrot versus Dalen Network. Let's get it. Street certified.
If everything that you see right here is real, then I would be in Stockholm, Sweden. It looked kind of crazy when I had did the research and I saw these images. It's not the Stockholm, Sweden that I imagined it was gonna be. Coming from environments like this, the youth in Stockholm had a big fascination for American hip hop, most specifically Chicago drill music. Over the decades, Sweden has amassed a massive drill scene, selling millions
Yeah, RP Gambino, man. RP Gambino.
of records made by Swedes. Sweden has amassed a massive drill scene.
Yeah, Murder
selling
Series a
millions
hood
of
classic.
records made by Swedish
That's a hood
bred drill
classic.
artists. And they even got their own gang war to go with it. That
Ooh.
gang bred drill artists. And they even got their own gang war to go with it. That gang war has now caught the attention of major law enforcement agencies across Europe. Some people believe the setting for this Swedish gang war was set in place back in the 1970s.
Damn.
1970 Sweden. Refugees and other migrants from the Balkans, Middle East, and South Asia are being housed in new estates, better known as housing projects, on the outskirts of large Swedish cities. Encouraged by Swedish policy to maintain separate cultural identities, these neighborhoods will become their own communities, separated from the Swedish people. This place of poor people, seemingly left to survive on their own, became the perfect breeding ground for Middle Eastern and immigrant street gangs. For decades, the slums of cities like Stockholm, Uppsala, Malmö, and Gothenburg were mostly populated by working class immigrants. These mostly immigrant communities rapidly grew following the aftermath of the 2010s European migration crisis. Sweden's previous pro-immigration stance meant it saw a massive influx of asylum seekers coming from the country, peaking in 2015. During this time, Sweden received more asylum seekers per capita than any other country on the continent, with many being from Syria, Iraq, and the Balkans.
But first, Sweden has received more refugees per capita than any other European country, and the government is
So they came and they just went crazy. Okay.
proud of its open door policy. But as special correspondent Malcolm Brabant reports from Sweden, the country's generosity has left it struggling to cope with an influx that is far greater than anticipated.
So that first part of the story, we really wanted to lay a foundation of the setting that created this drill war in Sweden. It is also important that we do not demonize all the people from these areas. In all poor communities, you have good, honest, working people that take care of their families. But for these criminals, it's alleged that they've committed some of the most brutal acts in Swedish history, all since about 2018. When I first got interested in this story of a Swedish gang war inspired by Chicago drill rap, I must admit, my first impression was of blonde hair Europeans cosplaying as gangsters. But after research and after really diving deep into what's been going on in Sweden these past 10 years, it turned out that the answer was a little bit more interesting.
Foxtrot, the largest of the quote Swedish street gangs, is thought to be ran from Turkey by a man named Rawa Majai,
Yep.
also known as the Kurdish Fox. Born in Iran in 1986, Majai's family, originally from Iraqi Kurdistan, gave birth to him while fleeing Iraq on the way to Sweden during the Iran-Iraq War. The family eventually settled in Uppsala, Sweden, when Rawa was only 1 month old. Later being called the Fox, Swedish media would name Majai's gang as the Foxtrot Network. Founded around 2016, Foxtrot arose in and around Stockholm and Uppsala. Originally, the gang consisted of many of Rawa's friends and family, later recruiting young teen boys as members, mainly from those previously mentioned low-income immigrant families.
And it's like, why wouldn't they go get some cheese or go knock somebody off? Facts. You feel me? Yeah, you're not even gonna get that much time. It's like a win-win situation to them. No cap.
With their main source of income being the illegal drug trade in Europe, Foxtrot would go on to clash with other newly founded organizations in Sweden, including the Dalen Network and the Varby Network, as well as a number of other former Foxtrot members who would go on to form their own groups. In 2020, Majid managed to purchase his Turkish citizenship through the Turkish Golden Visa program, after being released from jail in 2018 and allowed to live there by the Swedish government. This caused a situation where in 2025, despite being wanted by Interpol, an extradition from Turkey, formerly requested by Sweden, has not been granted.
It would seem that the boy Majid, man, he a slippery character. Last reports are that he was picked up in Iran in late 2023, attempting to cross the border with a fake Italian passport. It seems that Iran just gave him back to Turkey, so as of right now, he's still at large. To this day, Foxtrot remains one of the largest and most powerful criminal organizations in Sweden.
He's still out here moving and grooving.
Even having connections to major rappers from the country, like Einar, Gaboro, and 50. We gonna get into it a little bit later, the stories on Einar and Gaboro. But as of today, these members have passed, which shows that being a big time rapper connected to the largest gang in Sweden has its violent pitfalls. Much of that violence had to do with Foxtrot Network's biggest rival.
The Dalen Network, also known as the Dalen Valley Network, created only since the late 2010s, is said to be run by Michael the Greek Tenezos, currently in prison. Only in his mid-20s, former Greek and Swedish hockey player Tenezos and other Dalen higher-ups originally used Sweden as just a hub for drugs and money laundering. The rival between the Dalen Network
the AK
for
up
drugs
top.
and money laundering. The rival between the Dalen Network and Foxtrot would originally begin over the control of the drug trade at Sundsvall. Some have said it started when a 21-year-old member switched sides from Dalen Network to Foxtrot and then hired his new friends to violently attack his former allies from Dalen in order to take over the drug market in the city. This led to a series of bomb attacks and shootings, followed by the brutal 2023 mass murder of 3 teenagers, who were later found dismembered cartel style. Following this massacre, Greek police would aid Swedish officials with the Dalen Network and eventually track down 24-year-old high-profile member nicknamed Scar, followed by Tenezos the Greek himself.
I go, this is a picture, bro. He do look tapped. I can't even lie. He look tapped.
Although the Dalen Network, most of their leadership is locked up right now, I mean, that really just happened in 2024. Again, we want to reiterate that all of these gangs were built within the last decade, say since 2016, 2017. So in this decade, they've established a foothold in every major city in Sweden and across the world. In fact, most new gangs, when they begin, if they are not aligned with Foxtrot, they usually align themselves with the Dalen Network.
Damn, they running the whole shit.
According to authorities, the Varby Network from the late 2010s onward became active in Stockholm's organized crime scene. Officials have alleged that Varby Network is closely aligned with the Dalen Network. Based in Varby district in Stockholm, the gang would be accused of drug trafficking, bombings, kidnappings, and murder, and is allegedly led by a man named Chahab Lamori. In April 2020, famous Swedish rap artist Niles Kurt Erik Einar Gronberg, known as Einar,
Damn, long. Yo, I did not know his name was that long.
and Swedish rap artist Niles Kurt Erik Einar Gronberg, known as Einar, was kidnapped by two other Swedish rappers associated with the Varby network, Yasin Muhammad, better known as Yasin, and Haval Khalil, known as Haval. Einar was held at gunpoint for several hours, robbed of his jewelry, and his kidnappers took photographs of him and posted him on social media, prompting police to arrest the kidnappers soon after they released the rapper. Eventually, the two men would be convicted for the kidnapping and robbery, and sentenced to 10 months for Yasin and 2.5 years for Haval. Only a week before being scheduled to testify on Varby members, Einar would be shot and killed, allegedly by members of the Dalen network. In April 2021, a trial against dozens of Varby network members began, with 27 people with connections to the Varby network sentenced to a total of 147 years in prison.
Damn. Oh my God. 147 years. Total.
Gang network leader Chahab Lamuri will be sentenced to 17 years and 10 months in prison for attempted murder, aggravated assault, and general destruction.
To this day, the Varby network is very much connected with the Dalen network, seeing as though that they both are sworn enemies of Foxtrot. Now, there's been some additional gangs that, kind of spawned around the same time. One of them being Rumba, which is an offshoot of Foxtrot, by a man named Ishmael Abdo. He was a high-ranking member in Foxtrot, and he spun off mainly a set in Jarbro called the Strawberries or Rumba. So, like I said, a lot of these gangs have funny names.
Yeah, they definitely do. That Strawberry, when I first heard it, that threw me off, gang. I said, Strawberry? Why is his name Strawberry? Feel me?
Rumba. So, like I said, a lot of these gangs have funny names. The media and the police departments mainly are the ones who named them these things.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, the things that they've been accused of is no laughing matter.
On the evening of June 4th, 2024, another Swedish rapper was gunned down, this time in the city of Gothenburg. C. Gambino, born Karar Ali Salim Ramadan, was a popular Swedish mass rapper signed to Warner Music Sweden. Shot at least twice in an apparent deliberate attack, C. Gambino, who is not associated with Foxtrot or Dalen Network, was reportedly beefing with Varby Network before his death.
Oh, I thought he was
Due to songs he made with Swedish rapper 23, who had recently been banned from Varby after being a member for some years. Only 6 months later, and almost to the day of the death of C. Gambino, in a parking garage, popular gangster rapper Gaboro, born Ninjas Corey, was also shot dead in the Swedish city of Norrping.
I think that's a video y'all sent me in Discord. I ain't gonna lie, that was crazy, gang. That was wild.
The shooting on the evening of December 19th, 2024 was reportedly filmed
right there. I remember y'all sent me that. Oh, nah.
And videos of the incident would circulate online worldwide. Gaboro, also a mass rapper with millions of streams, was captured on video in a parking garage as gunfire erupted. According to a Swedish news outlet, Gaboro belonged to a network from the districts of Hagby and Navstad. The police referred to them as the Kalo Network. Corey's name would be written in a death list by their rival gang, called the Mary Lund Network, another upstart gang in the area. The list collected by Swedish police was
But wait, if they got to if they got to Gabero and they got to C. Gambino, how didn't they get to 23, bro? That's what's confusing me, like, cause that's the main person they probably would want. I don't know, man.
List by their rival gang, called the Mary Lund Network, another upstart gang in the area. The list collected by Swedish police was originally shared on Snapchat in September of 2023.
Man, Sweden right now is a modern day GD versus BD, Crip versus Blood situation, man.
Nah, facts.
All of these smaller gangs are either aligning with Foxtrot or Dalen Network. You know, Dalen Network is run by these big time guys that's basically living in other countries. They're actually young, but you could tell that they're all across Europe with it. And they're hiring young 12, 13, 14-year-olds to do their contract killings. I guess one of the things is in Sweden, even if you kill somebody as a juvenile, they still gotta like let you out when you 18. So they got the young boys going crazy over there. It's a very sad situation. Like I said, when I first started researching this story, I kind of thought it was gonna be more white people. Nothing against that, but I was, you know, I found out doing my research that, hey man, they had their own migrant crisis. They've had their own, you know, redlining and setting up certain neighborhoods for certain people. And when you do stuff like that and you have these large communities of poor people, they're gonna band together. They're gonna start figuring out ways how to get money. And now when you add in Chicago, which, hey, I got to take a little bit of credit for, I'm from the rack, so, you know, we be doing it, man. We selling a lot of negative imagery and people are loving it. And out there in Sweden, they sucking it up, they loving it, they mixing it with what already they got going on.
And they like, let's just take it over. This is our Chicago. Stop playing with us. You feel me? They just start doing the craziest. And then they got bombs, grenades.
And
Yo, they got bombs and grenades in Sweden. They upping it. You feel me? They don't even got, Chicago don't got no bombs and grenades, bro. What?
They sucking it up, they loving it, they mixing it with what already they got going on. And it's turning into a full-fledged gang war, man. Hey, it's your boy MXO Guapo, man. Street Certified News, the most reputable source in urban media, man. Hey, I wish this was real right here. We'd have went to Sweden, did the whole story, man. If you want to help us for our next story, get to maybe one of these exotic locations, all you got to do is hit that like, comment, subscribe, man. Share the video if you're rocking with it. If you don't, we already know we're going to hear it in the comments. Hey, we love you. It's your boy MXO Guapo, man. Street Certified News. We out.
Yeah, Sirski. Shout out to Street Certified for the video, man. Definitely a great video, dub video. Gotta make sure I get credit to the bro. Shout out there. Okay. Dub video. They don't got no regular ones? Okay, here we go. I'm trying to put the fire emoji. What a fire emoji. Damn. He talking about take a trip. Let's take a trip together, brother. See how Sweden is, really. I'll live stream the whole thing for real. I don't see the fire. I don't see the fire emoji. Damn. Why ain't that shit popping up? I'm gonna find that. I gotta put the fire emoji. I gotta put the fire emoji for bro. You feel me? Feel me? Gotta put that fire emoji. Let me see. Damn, let's find it. Let me see. Where is it at? Damn. Yo, ain't nowhere to be found. Oh, here it is. I'm like, yo, ain't nowhere to be found. The video gang. Okay, man. Yes, sir. Shout out to Street Certified News for that video.